The Scottish hills reverberated to the sound of the 2014 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship as the series made its annual journey to Knockhill for rounds 19, 20 and 21. The weekend began with a hectic qualifying session as the incredible 31-car grid took to the tight 1.3-mile circuit. It was Colin Turkington who set the outright pace throughout practice in his BMW, and the Ulsterman backed up his showing with a lap record-breaking time to go fastest. It would be the MG of Sam Tordoff that lined up on pole position for race one, however, as Turkington carried an 8th-place grid drop for an on-track incident at Snetterton. Race one proved to be one of the most incredible and exciting BTCC battles of recent times, following what looked like a routine start. Pole sitter Tordoff made the perfect getaway to lead fellow front row man Rob Austin into the first corner, with the Hondas of Andrew Jordan and local hero Gordon Shedden slotting in behind. It was to be an intense contest between the pair, but as Shedden tried to pull away early on, he made contact with an on-the-limit Austin in front, who took a trip over the grass but was able to rejoin. Shedden's fight with Jordan soon resumed, and after trading places numerous times, the pair went side by side through butchers and the two cars touched. The Tourer careered across the circuit and just tagged Jordan's car, breaking the suspension and putting him out of the race. Soon after, a nail-biting battle between the recovering Turkington and the MG of Jason Plato grabbed the attention as the two ran nose-to-tail over Knockhill's roller coaster undulations. Turkington eventually got the run on Plato down the start-finish straight, but just when it looked like he had the move done, the BMW ran wide into the first corner. As he slewed back onto the circuit, there was contact with the concertina of cars behind, and the 2009 champion speared off into the gravel. With the standings leader out of the running, it was the Honda of Matt Neal who kept his nose clean and moved to the front, moving past early leader Tordoff, who later pulled off with mechanical problems. The triple BTCC champ held on to take his first win in over a year, ahead of a recovering Rob Austin and flying Scotsman Shedden. There was drama immediately as the lights went out for race two, as Neal and Austin went wheel to wheel around the first corner. Austin ran wide and it recreated an almost identical incident to Turkington's race-ending contact earlier in the day, but in typically dramatic BTCC fashion, it was this time Turkington's main championship challenger Shedden who ended up being tagged into a spin. Things went from bad to worse for Honda as Matt Neal had to serve a drive-through penalty for a jump start, promoting Matt Jackson to the head of the field. The Ford Focus driver showed consummate performance to pull out a gap to the chasing pair of Plato and Austin, but it was Colin Turkington that put in the drive of the race. Starting from 27th on the huge grid of flame-spitting cars, the BMW driver carved through the pack, making move after move around the narrow circuit to cross the line an incredible fourth. With a few more laps, he might have been able to challenge for a podium finish, but as it was, Plato and Austin held station to secure second and third behind the metronomic Jackson. Nick Foster lined up on pole for the final BTCC bout of a sensational day of racing in Scotland. While he maintained position off the line, it was his teammate Rob Collard making the moves as he stormed through and up to third after a few short laps. With soft Dunlop rubber on his BMW, it wasn't long before Collard hit the front, and the number 10 driver never looked back. Further down the order, podium winners from earlier in the day, Plato and Austin, came together at the final hairpin, and Austin was forced to retire with suspension damage. Foster dropped back behind the battling duo of Ingram and Newsham, but it was Dave Newsham who made headlines. As Ingram dropped back, the Inverness driver found himself with mirrors full of BMWs as Turkington stormed through and brought Foster with him, but the Ford Focus defended valiantly to grab a first ever podium for his AMDtuning.com team. Collard held on at the front to take his first win since the 2012 Knockhill meeting. In doing so, he made it 3 wins for drivers using soft tyres for the first time in the history of the series, and also 3 new winners in 2014. As the sun set on an incredible day of touring car action, played out in front of the biggest Knockhill crowd for more than 15 years, Louise spoke to an elated Matt Jackson.
Hello, Matt. It's nice to see you back here.
Awesome. It's it's been a long time coming. We've been struggling, and this weekend the car seems to be absolutely fantastic. So massive thank you to everybody in the team, because without these boys it wouldn't have been possible. So you know, it's been an awful long time, and let's hope they're like buses and they all come at once.
It has been a barren spell, but not only have you ended it, but you've ended it with what Tim described as a real class performance. I mean, you were just in a field of your own, though, weren't you? Nobody really to race with.
Yeah, it was one of those. Obviously, we ran the soft tyre, which was working very well, and I knew that if we took too much out of them trying to get away for a pointless gap, then if there was a safety car, we would be knackered. But you know, we managed to. We managed to hold that gap. There was no safety car, and you know, we cruised it home. But you know, this car was built in memory of Gary Britnell, who sadly passed away at the start of the year. And this is the first win for the car, so it's even more emotional.
It means a lot to all of you. I mean, even Dick Bennett's coming up and saying congratulations to you. It means a massive amount for everybody on the team, doesn't it?
It does. You know, it's been we've been through some tough times, and you know, we've come out the other side, and the car is absolutely awesome. The Airwaves Focus is absolutely brilliant. So very, very pleased.